The 1974 to 1975 NBA season was the 29th season of the National Basketball Association. The New Orleans Jazz became the league's 18th franchise. The NBA playoffs were expanded from 4 teams per conference to 5 teams, adding another round to the playoffs consisting of a best-of-3 series between the numbers 4 and 5 seeds in each conference, with the winner earning the right to play the number 1 seed in the conference semifinals, kinda like the play-in tournament we have now. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. The Capitol Bullets were renamed the Washington Bullets. The number 1 draft pick was Bill Walton, selected by the Portland Trailblazers. Spot World, let's be around those with some quick facts about this season. Let's get right to it with the team records. Hit that like button. Leading the league in the East were the Boston Celtics with a 60-win, 22-loss record, followed by the Washington Bullets, 60-22, Buffalo Braves, 49-33, Houston Rockets, 41-41, and New York Knicks, 40-42. Missing the playoffs were the Cleveland Cavaliers, 40-42, Philadelphia 76ers, 34-48, Atlanta Hawks, 31-51, and New Orleans Jazz, 23 wins, 59 losses. The West was led by the Golden State Warriors, 48 wins, 34 losses, followed by the Chicago Bulls, 47-35, Kansas City Omaha Kings, 44-38, Seattle Supersonics, 43-39, and Detroit Pistons, 40-42. Missing the playoffs were the Portland Trailblazers, 38-44, Milwaukee Bucks, 38-44, Phoenix Suns, 32-50, and Los Angeles Lakers, 30 wins, 52 losses. Let's jump into our season leaders and all-star game. The scoring champion of the season was Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves, averaging 34.5 points per game. The rebounds leader, Wes Unseld of the Washington Bullets, averaging 14.8 rebounds per game. The assist leader, Kevin Porter of the Washington Bullets, averaging 8 assists per game. The steals leader, Rick Barry of the Golden State Warriors, averaging 2.8 steals per game. The blocks leader, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the Milwaukee Bucks, averaging 3.2 blocks per game. The 1975 NBA All-Star Game was played at Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona, with the East beating the West 108-102. Walt Frazier of the New York Knicks won the game's MVP award. Frazier scored 30 points on 10 for 17 shooting and added 5 rebounds and 4 steals. The Eastern Conference All-Stars were Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe of the New York Knicks, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets, Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves, John Havlicek, JoJo White, Paul Silas, and Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics, Elvin Hayes, Phil Chainer, and Wes Unseld of the Washington Bullets, Rudy Tomjanovich of the Houston Rockets, and Steve Mix of the Philadelphia 76ers. They were coached by Casey Jones of the Washington Bullets. The Western Conference All-Stars were Gail Goodrich of the Los Angeles Lakers, Bob Dandridge, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Jim Price of the Milwaukee Bucks, Spencer Haywood of the Seattle Supersonics, Rick Barry of the Golden State Warriors, Dave Bing and Bob Lanier of the Detroit Pistons, Sidney Wicks of the Portland Trailblazers, Nate Archibald and Sam Lacey of the Kansas City Omaha Kings, and Charlie Scott of the Phoenix Suns. They were coached by Al Attles of the Golden State Warriors. Let's get into our award winners of the season, and you know we need that Rookie of the Year award here in Spot World. Hit that like button, hit that sub button right now. It's free, please. The MVP of the season went to Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves, averaging 34.5 points per game, 2.2 assists per game, and 14.1 rebounds per game. The Rookie of the Year went to Jamal Wilkes of the Golden State Warriors, averaging 14.2 points per game, 2.2 assists per game, and 8.2 rebounds per game. The Coach of the Year went to Phil Johnson of the Kansas City Omaha Kings. Making the All-NBA first team was Rick Barry of the Golden State Warriors, averaging 30.6 points per game, 6.2 assists per game, and 5.7 rebounds per game. Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets, averaging 23 points per game, 2.5 assists per game, and 12.2 rebounds per game. Bob McAdoo of the Buffalo Braves, averaging 34.5 points per game, 2.2 assists per game, and 14.1 rebounds per game. Nate Archibald of the Kansas City Omaha Kings, averaging 26.5 points per game, 6.8 assists per game, and 2.7 rebounds per game. And Walt Frazier of the New York Knicks, averaging 21.5 points per game, 6.1 assists per game, and 6 rebounds per game. Making the All-NBA second team was John Havlicek of the Boston Celtics, averaging 19.2 points per game, 5.3 assists per game, and 5.9 rebounds per game. Spencer Haywood of the Seattle Supersonics, averaging 22.4 points per game, 2 assists per game, and 9.3 rebounds per game. Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics, averaging 20.4 points per game, 4.6 assists per game, and 14.7 rebounds per game. Phil Chainer of the Washington Bullets, averaging 21.8 points per game, 3.2 assists per game, and 3.8 rebounds per game. And JoJo White of the Boston Celtics, averaging 18.3 points per game, 5.6 assists per game, and 3.8 rebounds per game. Making the All-NBA rookie team, Scott Weidman of the Kansas City Omaha Kings, Tommy Burleson of the Seattle Supersonics, Jamal Wilkes of the Golden State Warriors, Brian Winters of the Los Angeles Lakers, and John Drew of the Atlanta Hawks. Making the NBA All-Defensive First Team was John Havlicek of the Boston Celtics, Paul Silas of the Boston Celtics, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar of the Milwaukee Bucks, Jerry Sloan of the Chicago Bulls, and Walt Frazier of the New York Knicks. Making the NBA All-Defensive Second Team, Elvin Hayes of the Washington Bullets, Bob Love of the Chicago Bulls, Dave Cowens of the Boston Celtics, Norm Van Leer of the Chicago Bulls, and Don Chaney of the Boston Celtics. Our favorite part of the season, the playoffs, baby. Let's do it. In the Eastern Conference first round, the Houston Rockets beat the New York Knicks 2-1. In the Western Conference first round, the Seattle Supersonics defeated the Detroit Pistons 2-1. In the Eastern Division semifinals, the Boston Celtics defeated Houston 4-1. The Washington Bullets won over the Buffalo Braves in a 7-game series. In the Western Division semifinals, the Golden State Warriors eliminated Seattle 4-2, and the Chicago Bulls beat the Kansas City Omaha Kings 4-2. The Eastern Division Finals saw Washington defeating Boston 4-2 to advance to the finals. In the Western Division Finals, Golden State won over Chicago in 7 games to advance to the finals. The 1975 NBA Finals began on May 18, 1975, featuring the Golden State Warriors versus the Washington Bullets. This series is notable as it was the first championship game or series in any of the major U.S. professional sports leagues to feature 2 African-American head coaches or managers, as Al Attles coached the Warriors and Casey Jones coached the Bullets. The Warriors' home games were played at the Cow Palace in Daly City, near San Francisco, due to scheduling conflicts at their normal home court of Oakland Arena. Washington, who held home court advantage, was given an option of a 1-2-2-1-1 scheduling format due to Golden State's problems, or opening on the road and then having games 2, 3, and 4 at home. Washington opted for the 1-2-2-1-1 format because they wanted to open the series at home. The Bullets built a 14-point lead at the half over the Warriors, but powered by Rick Barry's 24 points and Phil Smith coming off the bench to score 20 points in 31 minutes, Golden State took the first game 101-95. Game 2 saw Rick Barry dropping 36 points and grabbing 9 rebounds to lead the Warriors to a 92-91 win and a 2-0 series lead. Another scoring onslaught from Rick Barry, this time totaling for 38 points, brought the Warriors to a 3-0 lead after a 109-101 win. In Game 4, the Bullets were in control and led most of the way, leading by as many as 8 in the fourth quarter at 90-82. The Warriors were able to fight their way back and clutch out a win, 96-95, finishing the series with a sweep and winning the NBA championship. This was the first time in NBA Finals history in which the team who did not have the home court advantage swept the series. Rick Barry was named as the series MVP, averaging 28.2 points per game, 6.1 assists per game, and 5.5 rebounds per game in the playoffs.